Evan, this is day 5 now of what you may be able to call the siege of the Rixos Hotel. It's a desperate situation for about 35 foreign nationals here. Brits, Americans, there's a US congressman here, there's an Indian parliamentarian here, and the situation deteriorated massively overnight when it became clear that we were unable to leave the hotel of our own free will. Gunmen were roaming around the corridors. Some of them, it seemed, trained professional Gaddafi soldiers. Snipers were on the roof. We believe there are still snipers on the roof of the hotel, and effectively our movements are curtailed. The ITN cameraman just had an AK-47 pulled on him. A guard approached him and pushed him back, pointing the gun towards him. He is okay. That ended amicably, that moment of tension, but still there's a huge amount of apprehension and nervousness amongst the journalists stuck here in this hotel, as I said, Evan, for the 5th day now. And it's desperately hard to see how we get out at this stage.
And is that because there are guards at the door who won't let you out, or is that because you're scared to walk into the streets around the hotel because there are random sniper fires, random gunmen who might shoot at you?
The guard who pointed and walked up to the ITN cameraman with the AK-47 and shouted at him to get back was doing so because the cameraman was trying to walk out of the hotel. There's a central lobby area, and then you walk out into a circular car park, and then it's about 150 metres or so to a gate. And there are still guards close to the periphery and around that gate. But it became clear when this cameraman walked towards them, just 20 or 30 metres from the front door of the hotel, that they didn't want that to happen. So no, it's impossible, it seems, for us to get past the guards, but I think also impossible for us to know what is in the streets beyond the hotel.
Food, water, electricity?
Running out. Drinking water and food certainly running out. The electricity is on in parts of the hotel, but in terms of running water in the hotel and the sanitation here, look, it's not yet at crisis point, and hopefully this will be resolved before it is. But it's getting pretty miserable here, and you can only imagine the sort of tension which the foreigners here, the journalists here, find themselves feeling at the moment. One of my colleagues, the BBC cameraman here, said that for every bit of good news we seem to get, we were then knocked back by another bit of bad news. There's been moments where we've thought that we're on the verge of getting out of here, and then all of a sudden we find out it's just not possible.
Any idea what the objectives of the guards are? What are they hanging on for? Why aren't they melting away as so many of the other staff did, just trying to disappear to protect their own backs?
Well, some of them have been saying that they are going to defend their country and their city. There's one man who actually, some here who speak Arabic have been getting along with rather well, which is a positive sign, I would have thought, who was talking about his 3-year-old son back home, and the journalists who spoke Arabic were saying to him, look, you should put down your weapon and just go home. Don't be a part of this. It's all over. Don't be a part of this. Go home. And he's saying, no. We can be, we should fight for our country. We need to fight for our leaders. So I mean, you know, it's call it fanaticism, call it, I mean, I suppose the point is there's been 4 decades of authoritarian rule here in which a large section of the population has believed everything they've been told by the leadership. And in the last couple of days, I mean, you'll remember yesterday I was on the program having just spoken to Saif al-Islam, his second son, who was smiling broadly. I described it. I said he was brimming with confidence, full of passion, saying that we are winning the fight for Tripoli. It's clear that they weren't winning the fight for Tripoli, and they haven't won the fight for Tripoli. They have lost it in an almighty fashion over 4 days of fighting.
But Matthew, do they know that there? I mean, are you aware of what's going on in the rest of the city, stuck in this hotel?
Well, the televisions are all off. Cable and satellite TV has all gone down amid some of the gunfire that's been coming in across the hotel. Not since late last night, but an awful lot of gunfire around the hotel, and mortar fire and RPG fire, and that seems to have knocked out the satellite TV. So no pictures of that. We kind of thought that played in our favour, actually, because The foreign media have been accused by Colonel Gaddafi and his spokespeople over the conflict as being spies, as being affiliated with NATO. Some of the colleagues in this hotel at the moment were actually believed that their lives were in direct threat about a week ago, and ever since have been keeping their heads down because they were particularly targeted by members of the regime who believed that their satellite dish was feeding data to NATO.